Guys, welcome back to Victory TV, presented by Canva. I'm your host, Jake Barkadason, joined as always by Melbourne Victory women's captain, Kayla Morrison. Kayla, I hate to say it, our final episode. Where's the season gone?
Don't even say it to me, because the last 2 weeks have been the worst weeks. All I've been doing is thinking about when is Victory TV going to be back. So I don't even know what I'm going to do in the off season.
Well, we're at the pointy end of the season. We have yet another jam-packed show for you Victory fans ahead of our final match of the regular season, where we'll look back at our win against Wellington. We recap the inspiring story Afghan women's first home match over the weekend, and we have three amazing guests joining us tonight. Our Managing Director, Caroline Carnegie, one of this season's stars, Jason Davidson, and we catch up with Rashid Mahazi as he reflects on his time at the club. So, Kayla, I don't think we'll have a lot of time to fit everything in this week.
Look, it might be a longer episode, but you guys are welcome for that, because who doesn't want to watch more, especially with three great guests?
Plenty of great content. Well, let's look back at this Friday night as the Victory faithful were singing in the rain as we extended our unbeaten streak to 15 against Wellington. Simon Hill takes you through the highlights.
Dug out by Ben Way, that's a favoured victory, and then a mistake from Pennington allows Jake Brimmer to gallop clear, and he's broken one challenge and slid it beautifully into the path of Marco Rojas. Chance here for victory, and it goes, and D'Agostino, as simple as that, beautifully worked opening goal for Melbourne Victory, and Nick D'Agostino has 9 for the season. What a start for Tony Popovic's team. Piscopo says better from the Knicks, and is that inside the box?
Inside the box. There was no complaint from the Victory players at all, so it's a handball clearly, obviously.
Yeah, overturned, and it's a penalty. It's going to be the Melbourne boy, Renaud Piscopo, to a chorus of boos from the Victory fans. Takes his time, and Caliber gets right and made the save. Still alive for Sam Sutton. Extraordinary.
Stopped the game here for Piscopo, who cocked an arm to the head. I think he came over the top. I'm not sure the player, but he came over the top with a leading elbow.
It's Broxham leading with the elbow. Penalty again. Similar sort of run up to Piscopo. And he, I was about to say, he gets right again, Caliber. He did and got a hand to it. But it was just too firm and he couldn't keep it out. It's 1-1. Brimmer's corner, near post. Oh, and it just needed a touch from either Guerrier or Brillante, and surely it would have been 2-1. Oh, given away though by Davidson. Could be a chance here for Piscopo. Broxham shuts the door for now. It's Sutton. What a save. Or did it come off the uprights? And there's time here for Davidson now. Is that a handball? Wow, that'll be looked at. On we go for now. Marchand wins it back pretty spectacularly. It's Jake Brimmer, and that was moving. It's only pushed away by Sale, and in it goes off Nick D'Agostino, and Melbourne Victory have their lead back.
They're going to check with challenge on the sideline.
So if they think Ryan Marchand has then fouled Ben Olds, they've got to disallow the goal and award a penalty. Brimmer then against Sale. And Brimmer tucks it away. And Victory do have their lead, a little bit belatedly. Sandoval's nice shake to it, and it found Ben Wade at the near post. Good contact. Davidson joining in, the two of them playing it nicely between them. Brimmer almost overstretched, but found Ryan Marchand. Davidson. This will be a glorious goal. It is. Absolutely sensational from Melbourne Victory. Marco Rojas on the score sheet, and didn't they work that superbly down the left?
That unbeaten streak continues with 15 games, and Kayla, you'd have to say we are the informed team heading into the important pointy end of the season.
There's no better place to be. Victory is, they've hit their run, they've hit their stride, and that's exactly where we want to be heading into finals.
Big things are happening. And we also have the chance to lock second place away and possibly a week off with a win over Sydney on the weekend. So who knows, top spot could still be up for grabs, can't it?
I feel like you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to jinx it, but it's on everyone's mind.
Well, Ivan's not here. We don't have to. We don't have to curse anything anymore.
That's
the clean
fair.
sheet.
That's fair. We don't have to sage the room before he comes in.
Well, one of our favourite players on the Victory TV show is the great man Jason Davidson, the left back with the flare hair. But his football has been doing all the talking this season. Jason, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me today.
Oh, I told you before, you're a big part of this show now, the segments with your hairdos. So, what's the story behind it? Can we get a bit of background? Because I've heard some rumours, but we need to hear it from you.
Yeah, it obviously started. I've had blonde hair in the past. This year I wanted to spice it up a little bit. My daughter wanted me to have pink hair. My son wanted blue. And that's how it kind of just all started.
Oh,
it was between those two, and they kind of dared me to do it. And I thought, you know what, I'll go for it. And then one thing led to another. Like I said, the first was the pink, and then my son said it was unfair, so I went to the blue. And then, yeah.
Have you seen all the memes and everything about it?
Yeah, I have. I've seen a lot of Power Rangers one. I saw that one where I'm missing a couple of colours to complete the set. But yeah, it kind of started like that and just continued on to what it is, changing it up every 2 weeks.
As we've mentioned before, there's a club record unbeaten streak going on. In some senses, it's a bit under the radar. Have you guys kind of talked about this at all heading into finals, or is it something that's kind of been unspoken?
No, I think we've just concentrated on playing week in, week out our kind of football. And as the results the streak was getting longer and longer, obviously people started to talk about it. Like you said, it's kind of gone under the radar. And we've just focused on taking each game as they come and performing. And we've hit a good time to hit the stride coming into finals. We're full of confidence. If you look at the last game as well, how the boys just flying high, and we're full of confidence. So for us, we just worry about Sydney this coming week and then prepare for the finals.
So you're also a Melbourne boy. You went away for a while, then you've come back to Victory, which was around when you were going through the youth ranks. What's it like to come back and play for Victory in your hometown?
Yeah, it's an unbelievable feeling for me. I haven't played in Melbourne before this, besides coming that 1 year when I played in Perth, a couple of away games here. But before that in my career, I actually never had played in Melbourne, even with the national team. Always kind of missed the Melbourne games. So for me to be able to play in front of my family and friends, it's something special that I hadn't experienced in my career, and I'm loving every week of that. And it's just to be able to play for Melbourne Victory. For me, it's the biggest club in Australia. And being a Melbourne boy, like you said, I understand the responsibility of putting that jersey on because we've got the best fans, and they come in, week out to support us. And it's been a tough, maybe last 2 years, but it's nice to be part of that team to give back to the club and to the fans and put Victory back to where they belong.
Absolutely, couldn't have said it better. You speak about your family, outside of soccer, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do with your family, with your kids? Is there hobbies, or is life just about soccer?
Besides being a fashionista.
Yeah.
Nah, obviously my family is a big part of my life, so I spend as much time as I can with them. But with the scheduling this year, in particular, the last part of the season, we're playing every 3 days, so it's more about just recovery and getting ready to perform. And every time we've had a day off, it's just about spending time with the family, whatever they want to do. I try to take the kids. Usually we go to the cinemas because I can stay off my feet and relax and do two things at once. And just spending time with family, all of my little nephews and nieces and stuff like that, just cherishing the moment of being able to spend time here for birthdays and seeing my grandparents. It's been a long time, so it's something special to spend time with them.
Now, before we talk about the remainder of the year, there is a story that I heard when I was in the VIS as a kid, and we were complaining about the discipline the coaches were putting on us, and the coach decided to tell us a story about you when you were playing in Japan in the youth system. And apparently we were told that you rocked up to training a few minutes late, or even less than that, and because you were late, the whole team had to shave their head. Now, is that true? And if so, can you explain that?
Yeah, it is true. It's a long time ago now. But I went overseas when I was 14. So as a young Aussie kid going over to a different country, didn't speak the language, different culture, obviously being an Aussie kid, living how Aussie kids do, kind of just, freely and went over there. It was just a culture shock, and I rocked up to training late. And over there, they believed in the punishment as one team collectively. So didn't start off well in Japan. Didn't make that many friends because the whole team had to shave their head, and it was like it was like a 1-2. So it was like
Oh,
like it
God.
was a short
I don't
haircut.
think you would have lasted a decade.
I don't think so either.
So I didn't really start off well, but then I quickly realised what discipline meant. And what being in a team meant, because you're accountable not just for yourself but for your teammates. So it kind of prepared me for professional football. But yeah, I don't know how I kind of survived that.
It gives a great background into you, I think. But obviously we have Sydney away this week, which is a big game. We haven't really had an extended break leading into a game for a while, but we always play well when we do. How are the boys shaping up?
Yeah, we're full of confidence, like I said, from the last game, and just preparing. They've obviously come back from Champions League. We know that. And we're just going to go there and control what we can control. We have obviously our game plan, so we'll go there and try to execute that the best we can, and kind of shut out all the noise from the games and the Premier's plate, stuff like that. It's just about going to Sydney. I know it's a derby for the fans, so for us it's just going there, doing our job and making sure that we execute our game plan, and we see from there how it turns out.
Absolutely. And obviously there's added motivation this year. It's always nice to win one trophy, which we're fortunate enough to do, but now we're going for, potentially a couple. What's the feeling like there? Is everyone really hungry and motivated to get to the pointy end and be in the grand final? Of course?
100%. I think that was the reason why other players came to the club, was the incentive of coming back and helping Victory, like I said before, get back to where they belong, and that's fighting for trophies. And I think I said after the FA Cup, that's 1 down and there's 2 to go. So that hunger and desire to win trophies is in the whole squad, and I think that's why as a team collectively we're hungry and we're pushing to make sure that, and we've fought right to the end. We haven't given up, and we're there. We're in the title race, and all we can do, like I said, is prepare for the game against Sydney, and then control what we can control, and see hopefully we have another trophy to the cabinet this year.
Absolutely. Well, Davey, you've been a superstar this season. I think the best is still yet to come, but we appreciate you coming on Victory TV.
Thanks for having me.
Kayla, a Melbourne boy with Melbourne roots, is having a great season. We love to see it.
We do love to see our Melbourne boys. We also love Americans. But no, it's great to have him in the studio. He's been a great addition to the team and is really helping us on that finals run.
Absolutely. We hope it continues. Well, it's time to look towards this week's match, and a chance to lock in second spot is on the line in the Big Blue as we head into the analysis bunker with Sistema and Kayla. We definitely think the boys can continue their unbeaten run away from home.
It'll be crucial for the boys to not lose this one, not only for their prospects of finishing second and having the week off, but for the overall momentum of the side, especially after the last 14 weeks that has not seen us lose a game since the slump after the FFA Cup final. The tail of the tape is in favour of the Sydney Siders, and as you can see, Archie leads the goal-scoring charts for us in this contest, but I think history will go out the window on Saturday night. Sydney come back from the ACL bruised and battered and not much to play for, while our boys will be firing with a full week's rest and motivation to continue the run. So I think there's enough there for us to get over the line.
We hope so, Kayla, and don't forget you can catch the match on Channel 10 and Paramount Plus on Saturday night, so make sure you tune in. And this week we also saw another side at the club which takes an important step forward, and a step that doesn't necessarily have a lot to do with football in itself. The Afghan women's side won their first match of the season on Sunday, and our team was there to capture all the action as the side won 10-0 against Melton Phoenix. And I must say this is very special footage, so let's take a look at the recap from the day.
Every time they step on here, as they will today in their first home game, every time they kick the ball, every time they score a goal, every time they make a tackle, but most importantly, every time they smile on that field. Every time we look at them today and you say to yourself, they're back doing what they love and they are really enjoying it and being together and representing everything that they do, every time they smile is a challenge to the table. That's what they symbolise. They are incredibly powerful and incredibly important.
to see them playing with a smile on their face. Like they celebrate every goal today, and that's what it's all about. It's about the team being able to come out and do what they love doing, and that's playing football. And it's great to be involved as a member of the club that's supporting these players the way that they are.
What a special day that was, Victory fans. Honestly, Kayla, I think one of the most heartwarming pieces we've had on this show, and great to see, as Craig Foster said, the girls get out there, play, and even get to celebrate a win.
I've met the girls personally. I've, listened to a few of their talks, a few of their interviews, and it genuinely brings a tear to your eye. It makes you realize, how strong, how resilient those girls are. So to see them out on the field is a huge feat for them, but it's also a giant inspiration for everyone else.
A great step from the club, no doubt. Well, we not only have a very special guest who has been involved with the Afghans women team, but a lot of the change that has happened at the club over the past 12 months. And we're very pleased to be joined by Managing Director Caroline Carnegie. Caroline, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Jake and Kayla.
We've got our suit jackets on today.
We absolutely do.
I was a bit nervous, but no, it's great to have you here. And obviously with the Afghan women's, the footage that we've just seen, I'm sure you played a big part in that. How amazing has that process been?
I think everybody has sort of come at it from a view of how lucky the girls are to get some support. But I think our club is so lucky to be a part of being able to offer more. And, we are a football club, so it's always football and trophies first. So we don't lose focus of that, but to be part of a world game where we really can do more and use our platform to inspire people and really create a connection and lead is just something that's really important. It's important to the club, it's important to our fans to see that we stand for a lot more. And it's really important to our administration and our players. And you would have seen Marco Rojas was there, and we also had Amy Jackson, who have been really involved with the team as well. And it just shows that there's more to us than just what happens on the pitch. It doesn't take away from that, that's number one. But to be able to be part of something that's so inspiring, I think is amazing for everybody that's involved at the club.
Absolutely.
I feel like I've been lucky enough to see you come into the club and make a giant change on and off the field. I think within the past 12 months, the club has seen a huge transformation. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, there's been a bit going on the past 12 months. I mean, I don't want to labour the point. We all know we had a couple of bad seasons. A lot of people had a couple of bad years with COVID, so the challenges can't be underestimated. And the challenges this season have been even greater because we've had sort of a full expense model, so no games shut down, just moved around. But it's been very difficult for our fans to know when we're playing, to get to games, and also to have the confidence to go out. So amongst that climate, we've had sweeping changes. Nothing in the girls' team, Kayla. Everything was working beautifully there. But we've had almost an entirely new men's football department, and we've had a lot of change in administration, and we've really tried to challenge ourselves to rethink the way we're doing things to make sure we're doing them the best we can. And one of the really important parts of that is the communication piece with our fans. We won't always get right what we want to do, and part of what we're trying to do is push the boundaries. So we'll experiment with new things, some will work and some won't. But we want our members and our fans to know that they are first and foremost in what we're doing, and that we are thinking through it. And if we're making a decision that we know they won't like, because probably we don't like it either, we want to tell them why that's happened and be open with them. And I think most people can cop that. So they might say, I don't like that decision, but I can accept it. And one of the really good examples of that was playing our semi-final for the FFA Cup down at Geelong. And we tried a multitude of different things to not have to go there. Not because we don't like Geelong, the guys at Skills Stadium or GMHBA are amazing, but more because we knew our fans wanted to be here. We wanted to be here, we wanted to play at Amy, it's our home. We brought all our games to Amy for a reason, but nothing fell into place with the sort of 6 or 7 different options that we tried to work on. So we went out and told our fans why. It doesn't mean they liked it, but it means they understood that we'd actually thought about it from their perspective, and I think that's been a big part of it.
I have to agree that the communication's been great. A bit of communication that is on everyone's mind is an academy facility that was brought up at a members function by yourself.
Yep.
How is that progressing? Because I know that will be a huge thing that the people, the community, the young boys and girls. Hopefully we can get a girls' academy going. Everyone would be really looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think what you just touched on is probably one of the reasons where we're behind where we'd love to be with it, Kayla. So we certainly had a plan in place, and the board did when I took over, and then we changed our football department, and we've had a big opportunity to rethink exactly what the ideal infrastructure piece looks like for us. And at the moment we have 6 academy boys teams, we have the Afghan women's team, and we have our 2 professional teams. We want to get our 6 women's team academies up and running, particularly in the lead into the Women's World Cup.
Yep.
But that comes with an additional piece of infrastructure. So more pitches that we need, and more programs in order to make sure that we can do the best that we can. So we've sort of had a little bit of a shift in how we might bring that to fruition, but we're very close to being able to. It'll probably be a staged approach, but very close to be able to announce how we're going to do that so that we can make sure all our teams have the best elite facilities going around.
That'll be amazing.
It'll be incredible.
Yeah.
Now, we've spoken about active support at this club, and I think a great example was at the Melbourne Derby when we had so many fans, which has obviously been a massive feature for us this season, given the COVID period and obviously not everyone getting to the games and so forth. Can you give us a bit of insight of, I guess, how much work goes into getting the North Sandfield, the South Sandfield, and all the stuff that goes beyond with the fans?
Yeah, I mean, I think we are incredibly lucky with our active support. This year they are second to none, absolute best going round in the league. You know, they supported the women as well this season, and I couldn't ask for any more for the guys, other than occasionally when we talk about, what sort of activities might happen in the lead into a game. Look, we try to manage with our actives the same way that I would with any other fan, which is to understand where they're coming from. Active support is a huge part of our game. Mm-hmm. And they've been fantastic with us. And the second part to managing that piece is obviously policing and security that sits alongside that. Mm-hmm. But we want them to understand how important they are to the game. We're really open and transparent, as are they, with us about, what stadium expectations are, what policing expectations are, and how we can actually make sure that our game is recognised for the specialness that comes with active support. And I'm not sure whether you two saw, but our actives actually unveiled a painting off Swan Street this week, which has got original style Melbourne on it, which is amazing. So, we can't look past how important they are to our game, and I couldn't be more thankful for how amazing they've been this season. We'll keep working together, we'll make sure we get the balance right, but absolutely fantastic.
Well said. Now we're coming to the pointy end of the season. For the fans that haven't seen Caroline at a game, she's very animated and into it. So
and
she's
wearing sparkly heels.
Yeah, she's as much rooting for the team as anyone. But from your perspective, obviously we had great success in the girls. What's your feeling around the boys replicating what the girls did this year?
I'm sure you don't expect me to say anything
well,
less
they set me up here, but
than...
we want a big answer at least.
Of course we expect the boys to replicate what the girls did. They might even go one further and win the Premier's Plate as well. So
okay.
I think there was some genuine excitement when we saw the results that happened last night, that we're still in the race for first. And this is what it's all about. Our staff, our fans, everybody, and our football department first and foremost. This is what they work for. And we are incredibly excited to be part of, this part of the season and to be heading into a finals campaign. And I have full confidence in our team, and I just think I wouldn't want to come up against them.
No, I couldn't agree more. Well, just quickly though, obviously you mentioned there's been a lot of change the last 12 months. How happy have you been to see that it's just clicked so quickly, especially on the field?
Yeah, it's been amazing. We couldn't ask for more for where we're sitting at the moment. I think, having the FFA Cup trophy for the men, the first silverware was amazing. Mm-hmm. We want to go further in the next few weeks, of course, and there's still a lot more to do. And we have member forums and we have member working groups, and we're open to feedback for anything that we can do to make Melbourne Victory the best club in the land, and hopefully beyond Australia as well. So incredibly excited and happy with where we're sitting at the moment.
Well, Caroline, we absolutely love you. You're a big part of Victory TV coming to life, so we have to thank you for that. But we appreciate you coming in and giving us some insight.
Thank you both.
Well, Kayla, there we go, the managing director. So much change in the last 12 months, and we have to say the club has been in great hands over the last 12 months.
She's not paying me to say this, and she's also not giving me the eyes on the side of the camera. But without her, I don't know if the club would be running anywhere near where it's running. I don't know if the girls would have gone back to back. She's come in, she's made a huge footprint in the club that will last forever. And everyone, players, staff, is just super grateful to have her at Victory.
Make sure there's not a 50 in there. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
It's 100.
Well, the Victory action doesn't stop there, guys, with the A-League, MPL or Afghan Women's this week. The E-League is back this weekend as our competitors get back behind the sticks on FIFA 2022. And tonight we will get to know a little more about our competitors, Mo Zwed and Anthony Sard, who kick off their campaign this weekend.
You got to park the bus. My play style has always been just parking the bus and play on the counter. I was never good at ultra attacking because I get exposed at the back, so parking the bus for me.
Ultra attack 100%. Got to go for the win.
Pizza for sure. Pizza, yeah. I love me some Italian pizza, yeah.
Oh, Parma. Love the melted cheese.
Has to be Warzone. I can't play Fortnite. I'm too old for that game. I can't build.
Definitely Warzone. Definitely. Just always been a COD person. So.
Chips.
Yeah, got to go chips.
Active for sure. You got to feel the atmosphere, yeah. It's unbeatable.
Active. Got to enjoy the environment.
I'd go edit formation if I'm losing a game, yeah, 100%. You got to change things up.
Edit formation, 100%. I want my players to do what I want them to do. So.
Fluoro as in flashy boots, right? Yeah, I always go with the pinks and greens and yellows, yeah.
Fluoro boots. I want to stand down the pitch. Yeah.
1-0 for sure. You can't be copying 3 goals in a game. Unacceptable.
4-3 win. Hard fought out game, scored more goals, so you take it.
Why is that even a question? Of course it's Messi.
Ronaldo, 100%.
Coke.
Coke.
Night in for sure. I'm a proper gamer, yeah.
Night out with the boys.
Apple. Easy.
Apple.
Packing a legend for sure, because they got some sort of value, but if you pack any current players, they might not even go for much anyway, so a legend for sure, yeah.
100% packing a legend.
Good luck to the lads this weekend as they kick their season off. And Kayla, I think I know this answer, but I'm pretty keen to find out how you are behind the PS5.
Bad. I'm so bad. I don't know how to turn it on. I don't know how to play. It's just definitely not my thing at all.
Yeah, I figured. Well, anyway, good luck to the boys. Now, a man who I know for a fact is better football than he is a FIFA player, played over 70 games for the club, winning the 2015 championship and the FFA Cup. One of my good friends, childhood friends, Rashid Mahazi. Welcome to the show, mate.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Hello again, Jake.
Yeah, pleasure to see you again, mate. Now, look, you've had a long journey with the club. You had a obviously very powerful time here, a very successful time here. The early days when you were signed by Ange coming out of the MPL, I'm not too sure many people know what that was like for you. So can you give us a bit of background?
I actually had a weird signing because it was to do with because of my being over in Argentina and doing the youth over there and stuff. There was some issue with a payment that they were requesting be paid to them, and so I came in for a trial under Ange, and that trial ended up he had told me, okay, you're going to sign sort of a week or two in. And then that trial ended up just lasting, I don't know, months. And I was going into Trimmer's office every day saying, Trimmers, what's going on, mate? when am I signing? So that was a bit of the process. But yeah, it was good from the start. Like I knew a few of the boys. I obviously knew Jimmy Jego from when I was younger and a lot of young boys at the time. So I felt pretty welcome pretty quickly. It was good.
Now, Ange, obviously we've seen how good he's doing with Celtic, winning Scottish Manager of the Year recently. Can you give us a bit of background what it was like working under him, and was that a big step up from obviously where you had been before?
Yeah, my experience with Ange was, I mean, in some ways, it's probably a weird one. Like, it feels like what he was doing in the A-League at that point was he was just trying to, he was having a bit of a laugh, like just seeing what he could get out of doing weird tactics. Like we didn't even have a striker at the time, and it was somewhat working. So, but yeah, you could just tell he's on another level. Obviously, there's his knowledge of like systems and how to outsmart the opposition. He was obviously on a different level, but I'm probably not the first one to say that. I think I had literally 2 conversations with him while I was there. One, him just saying, "You're going to sign," and the other saying, "You'll be right out there on my debut." So that was about the extent of our personal relationship.
Yeah. Very inspiring.
Yeah.
Well, can you give us a bit of background on your time here at Victory, though, overall? Because particularly towards the latter years, you played a lot of games. You're obviously in the dimensions with Milligan and Valeri, which were great players to be playing with, and obviously made it quite tough for you to break into that starting 11. But you also got to see some success in silverware as well. Yeah, I mean,
jam-packed 4 years, really. Like my first year, I sort of had I went in with the goal of like, I remember people saying, okay, yeah, he's signed, but he's not going to play a game. So I sort of went in with the idea of like, I just want to play my first professional game. And then after I did that, I ended up playing a decent amount that first year. And then the second year, we obviously won it. So that was amazing. And I remember, well, that year I wasn't playing too much, but I remember Broxy coming up to me. I was coming off the bench every week, but I wasn't starting too many games. And I remember Broxy coming up to me before one of the games, and I was probably a bit pissed off that I wasn't starting or something. And he said, "Look, mate, once we win it, I guarantee you won't care like whether you played a minute or you played the 90. Like you'll just want to win it, and you'll just be happy anyways." And that's exactly how it was. And we went on to we did the FA Cup. I did all the Asian Champions League, which is amazing. Got to go to Japan and play through Korea and China and all that. So an awesome 4 years, 4 seasons. Met a lot of people that I would not call mates now, and I call my brothers. So awesome.
I know I'm standing next to someone you definitely probably call your brother. We always have guests on and he makes them take the piss out of me. Give me a good story about Jake first.
Sounds like him.
She didn't tell me she was going to ask this.
Tell me how you guys met first of all, and then give me some dirt on my co-host here.
Keep it G-rated, Mahazi.
I actually posted a photo of the two of us at Monash City yesterday on my Instagram story.
We might actually use that photo in the show. Our admin team said I sent it off to them, so there might be a graphic right now as I'm speaking.
Yeah, you should do. And before I got on, they said, "Oh, Jake's just doing his hair and makeup." And in that photo, you can quite clearly see that his mum's told him, even as a little boy, "Put your moisturiser on, do your hair."
Oh, listen to him.
But yeah, no, that's where we met. We met at Monash City. I would have been, Jake, I don't know, mate. I would have been 5, you would have been 4, or something like that.
Wow.
Yep.
So all the way, and we've just literally just been going down to that park almost all our lives until we moved out of that area, and just like going for kicks together and just literally trying to push each other. And we ended up doing that. I think we still do that now,
Mm-hmm.
Bit of healthy competitiveness between us, and a lot of love and good memories. So
yeah, there's actually one specific
crazy memories as well.
One specific moment when I was playing at Adelaide, and obviously we grew up playing football in the streets together, and we were both on the bench warming up, and I got called to go on, and as I was going on, obviously I'm playing for Adelaide, which was tough being a Victory fan, and Rashid's wearing the Melbourne Victory colours, and he just looked at me and just goes, "Good luck, bro." And whispered into my ear.
That's so
and I was
cute.
like, "Thanks, man." So it was a very special moment. But one of the things around your period at Victory, which obviously caught a lot of the fans by a bit of surprise, was the year you took off. We call it a bit of a gap year, but you obviously had a lot of personal things going on at the time, which I don't think really people got to know, which really impacted your sort of life and football as well. So are you able to shed a bit of light on that for the people that weren't aware of what happened?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there was obviously a lot of sacrifices that come along with playing football, and one of them, I mean, this is probably the main one. One of them was that I wanted to go to Kenya with my dad, and he used to always go around Christmas time, and we'd spoken about every year how I'm missing it and whatever, and then we discussed maybe we could organise a time to go together, and then I don't know, he ended up passing away, and then I was sort of a little bit falling out of love with the game, and feeling like it was becoming a bit of a chore to go to training and stuff. I was obviously still working hard and doing my best and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess priorities just changed. I wanted to go to where my dad was from. I hadn't been since I was 11 years old, and I wanted to try some other things and see what life had in store. And I remember Fahid telling me I'd only told him and maybe Danny Georgievski at the time that I was going to have a year off, and before I obviously told anyone else. And Fahid said to me, "No, bro, no." Don't do that, man. You're going to regret it. And I said, to be honest, man, I need to regret it. That's what I need, because at the moment I'm taking it for granted, and I'm playing professional football and feeling like it's a job. So, and I feel like a lot of players, like when I did it, a lot of players had the same, said to me, "Oh, mate, I wish I could do that. I wish I could, have some time off from the game or whatever." And I think most people just sit in the dressing room and don't enjoy it and just keep going. And I just wanted to, I thought I wanted to just try some other things. And like I always say, I could fill 10 lifetimes of things that I'm interested in doing. So I didn't want to just funnel myself into one career the whole time,
So it seems like you've had a lot of life experience, a lot of soccer experience, and now I know you've opened, you've started your own academy and stuff. Is that something you try and, relay to the kids that you're coaching? Tell us a bit about the academy, and what if you try and, sponge your knowledge onto them?
Yeah, well, I mean, a big one is I'm studying psych now, and I mean, just to flow on from the last question, I want to be a support so that players are in a position where they're able to keep loving the game even the whole way through their careers, and they don't have to. I mean, if that's what they want to do for their life, they don't have to have a year off in the middle of their career to get their head straight. That's definitely one of the things that I want to look at, and yeah, just mental health in general is obviously important. It's becoming a bit more front of mind now, last 5-10 years. But yeah, what we're creating is basically we call it a holistic developmental environment, where it's just essentially football is the center of everything. It's the primary thing we're focusing on, developing the kids' skills and technique and knowledge of the game. And then outside of that, we want to have a network of people that sort of surround the kid from the start of their career, or start of when they start playing with us, all the way through, not just until they finish their career, but like life after football and everything, and just support them for every decision they need to make, whether that's academic, whether that's mental health stuff, whether that's investing, whether that's contract, understanding how to sign, what contracts mean and what certain things mean in contracts, and should I sign with this agent, should I not, sort of essentially being like a big brother to a lot of the kids, a big brother that's basically been there and done that, and can give you some guidance. So that's the idea, and obviously, like I said, with football at the centre of it as the primary thing.
It's amazing.
Well said, mate. Now, you're always going to be remembered at this club being a part of Silver West, so we appreciate you coming on the show and giving us some of your time.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good to be back in the Victory, where the offices, I guess, where we are, for 5 minutes.
Absolutely, mate. No, we'll see you around soon, and appreciate your time again, Rashid. Thank you. Kayla, it was great to catch up with Rashid and get a bit of insight on his time at Victory.
I think he's so cool. I think the academy he's running is so new school, and I think, it's grasping everything that's more than football. So I'm really excited to see what he's doing in the future.
Absolutely. Well, folks, that's it for another episode of Victory TV presented by Canva. But don't stop there, because don't forget to tune in to the big final round of the regular season on Saturday night as we take on Sydney FC at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. Kickoff for the match is 7:45 with all the action on Network 10 and Paramount Plus. And the Isuzu Ute A-League Men's Final Series is on our doorstep as we look to embark on a championship run with so much on the line this week. Stay tuned to your emails and Melbourne Victory channels for all finals fixtures and ticketing information. And Kayla, I hate to say it, but that wraps up the season for Victory TV. We've had an absolute blast this season going over the men's and women's sides, talking to some great people involved at the club, past and present, and having a bit of fun along the way. So Kayla, in some ways, I hope you're next to me a little less next season and back on the pitch for the girls.
I hope you're doing like Kayla Morrison highlights next season as well, and you're bringing me in as a guest because I'm going to miss you.
Yeah, something tells me you won't go too far. But anywho, from myself, Jake Barkadesh, and Kayla Morrison, Victory fans, it's good night.
Good night.